All right, so I'll call the meeting in order. Quorum is present. All four members are here. So we'll need a motion to accept minutes from the previous meeting.
So
which I think
moved.
is January. And that's Gary or Mark?
That was Gary, but I'll second.
Gary first. You second, Mark?
You did.
Yep.
Any additions, deletions, or corrections to my minutes?
Nope.
Of course, they went out like 6 months ago, but
Yep.
seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, minutes are approved. All right. Next, public comment. I am going to be generous with public comment today in that I think because this is a special meeting, I can only really consider things that are on the agenda, and some other things that come up. So I would like to ask the Deputy Controller to comment on things, get us all up to date for the record as far as what's been going on lately. So I'm gonna put you on the spot there, Tony.
Yeah, no pressure. Okay. I think everyone's been getting the Ice Rink financials as we've been sending them out. The most recent one that went out, I think Monday. It might have been yesterday. I apologize as to which day. Things are a little bit of a blur right now. The auditors are in last week and this week, and we're trying to finish things up with them. And in this grouping here, the new accountant, Bridget, completed the income statement for the month of September. So there's not a heck of a lot of things going on, basically because the lease, the way the lease is set up, a lot of the expenses and stuff are put to the leasee. So you just kind of have a very bare bones income statement, and what it's showing at this point. So this is through basically through the first quarter of the year, September 30th end. You're looking at, let's see, the month of September was a loss after depreciation. It was a loss before depreciation of.
Are you looking at the balance sheet now, Tony?
I'm looking just at the income statement.
There. Yep. Okay.
Yep. So it's 24, 45, 31 was before depreciation. Depreciation was 97.25 and change. So the net loss after depreciation was 12,170.72. Year to date before depreciation, revenues are 17,700. Depreciation being 29,000 and change, leaving a net loss after depreciation of 11,476.23. And that's pretty much on par. Those items there are from
leases?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So that's not what we're talking about then.
Yep. No, this would have gone out, the email from.
Okay. That's the one you sent out before.
Yeah. So that should be from Bridget. And
from Bridget.
Right.
Yep. And I think it was yesterday, although it might have been Monday.
Day, I think.
Okay. So that's where that is. We can go back and hash on any of those items, or we could go into, excuse me. Okay, maybe not. It must be all those hydrangeas. I mean, I thought it was right. It was, and I swear to God, it was right there. It's all the hydrangeas here out in the woods. Wow. Okay. And so if there's anything particular on any of the lines here or any of the prior months that we've sent out, I'll be more than happy to try to answer those questions in regards to that. And then let's see what else. I'm not sure. It's kind of, we said update. It's kind of generic and open. So I guess I'm gonna. Well, I guess it's kind of under old business, but we've had some correspondence from Lisa in regards, which I've forwarded out to everyone over the past few days. Maybe it's been a week now, and I also forwarded out to everybody the lease, which I was able to locate, because I'm sure, well, no, I shouldn't say I'm sure, but I suspect that you may probably don't have that right where you can get your hands right on it. It's about 6 years old now, more or less.
I
at
still
this
have
point.
it, but
Yeah. Well, I do in a folder, but sadly I couldn't find the folder, so I had to go grab it off the network and print it out again. So it was probably on some meeting that I took it out for, and then it'll turn up one of these days. But anyways, I have another copy. You guys all have a copy, for that. So other than the financials, I think the other items are really under old business. Old business kind of for in regards to the lease and
Some of
audits
this,
and that
I
kind
will
of
tell
stuff.
you, right. So when we get under old business, and yeah, I mean, we'll talk about the status of the audits in open session, but there's some things probably we'll actually need an executive session for. So, and when we get to that point, we'll talk about it. Is there anything else, Tony, or anyone else want to bring up at this point?
Let's see. The sign was
Any
replaced.
correspondence? Or-
Just kind of you guys had requested. Gosh, that was probably a year ago on the sign out in front. So that was resolved back in, oh God, March, April,
Right.
something like that. So that looks pretty nice. There was some work that Lisa had requested just in general in regards to cleaning up the I'm going to call it the gully, for lack of a technical term,
Yeah,
between the parking
around the
lot.
bridge there.
Yep. And some work was done on that parking lot. It looks like the last time I drove by there was a few weeks ago. I had to go out to a meeting at the golf course, and it looked like some of the stuff had been done. Some of the stuff hadn't been finished. So I put a call into Pat McLaughlin at Public Works, and they're like everybody else trying to stay on top of things. So it's on a to-do list, unfortunately, and they're working on it.
How are we doing on lights there? I haven't been by there in a while, so. Lisa or Shannon, how are the lights in the parking lot? You can unmute yourself, Shannon.
I think there's one that's not working right now along the driveway.
All right. All right. So as we go along, just, pass that along to Public Works, if you get, or give me a shout, Shannon, email me, whatever, and I'll pass it along, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, Shannon, if you want to just fire that out to me, and I'll get he's on vacation.
Add it to the list.
Well, I'll on the light stuff, I can, that part I can talk directly to JJ with, who's the building superintendent
Yeah.
for all the different buildings, and we can work to get that resolved.
Okay. All right. So with that, we'll close public comment. You've already touched on correspondence on updated financials and stuff like that, so we can skip through that. I'm not aware of anything else other than what you sent us today via email. I'll include that in the minutes, the two attachments from Lisa. So one of which I put up on the screen a minute ago. So right now, Tony, I guess let's talk about the audits and the old business, number one.
Well, the
Audit specific, and then, I think the other things that we need to address and compliance and the lease terms and stuff, we'll probably have to talk about initially, at least under executive session. Whether or not we do anything tonight is another matter.
Okay. I think you kind of want to probably have Lisa's auditor kind of work us through those items. And as you can see, the stuff's in draft form. So I think he could do a much better job, since they're his reports at this point, to work through it.
Okay.
do we have a copy of those, or just you and Mark right now?
Oh, I don't even have a copy, I don't think.
I forward these.
Did you?
When I got, um,
I've got like 15 emails from you.
yeah, sorry. These these came in. I think I was in transit from work, heading home, so I just sent these out.
Did you
I
send
got
it?
it.
Yeah. Oh, you did get it?
Yeah.
Yes,
I
it's
got it.
urgent. 24
Yeah.
minutes ago. Urgent.
Okay.
Yeah, I might be able to post them on the Zoom if you want.
I can do that if I'm assuming I got them.
This is
Oh, here we go. Yep, I'm good. Sorry, I was driving.
Everybody got them?
Yep.
I got them.
All right.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name's Mike Plude. I've been working with Lisa on working on the audit for 2015 through 2019. Basically, we're almost complete with the audit. The issues that we have are, we'll talk about the revenue sharing. But as far as the basic financial audit itself, we've pretty much completed everything. We're comfortable with the balance sheet. We're comfortable with the profit and loss. What was presented so far are a draft of the balance sheet and P&L for the years ending June 30th, 2015 through June 30th, 2019. We've done a lot of sampling. We've done a lot of auditing on both the balance sheet and income statement. The biggest item right now that we're trying to wrap our hands around is a revenue sharing agreement. If you look at the agreement, it talks about multiple areas. The first is the initial, bear with me. The first area is the initial credit, which was for a bunch of repair items that had to be done when the rink was turned over. We've looked at those. I've made some determinations, but if you look at the agreement, it basically boils down to the city and the tenants or Lisa have to agree on what constitutes an initial initial repair, and then we start looking at another area that's called excess routine capital improvements. There was a substantial amount of money spent in 2014 and 2015. And if you look at the revenue sharing agreement, it lists out about 15 different areas that that needed to be addressed. The verbiage basically talks about what would qualify as a excess capital improvement, and the threshold I think was initially set at expenditures over $5,000. But I need some guidance as to an agreement between the city and the tenant or Lisa to figure out what do you guys consider or what are you accepting as excess routine and capital improvements? Because that factors into the credits that are applied towards the rent going forward. The draft that I have shows that there was approximately $341,000 worth of routine capital improvements, and about probably over $50,000 worth of initial, the initial repairs. Now, the initial repairs are credited over a 3-year period, and they've been fully utilized from what I can see. But again, I need guidance as to what is the agreement between the city and Lisa as to what qualifies. It pretty much goes through the management service agreement goes through, and it states many times that best efforts have to be used between the two parties to make a determination. What I have included is a detailed listing off the financial records by vendor as to what was expended. So again, once an amount's determined, I can very easily do the calculation for the rental credit, and we can finish up the financial statements. But everything else is pretty much set.
All right. On our end, I think that's something we're going to have to talk about because of the nature of it. That would be a subject probably for an executive session. So
I completely understand.
yeah.
But all that
So
I ask is some guidance.
Yeah. So see, we're just seeing this act. I mean, we had some communication where we were told there was some issues, but this is the first. We got the documentation today for the first time, so it's a you can't digest it in one.
Right. Can we
Oh,
have some time
realize
to?
that, and actually, I will take the blame for that. We were pretty much at a very good point last December. And unfortunately, at that point, I came down with a severe case of shingles, which put me into
Oh, wow.
February, March, and then we automatically rolled in, or not automatically, then we rolled into the COVID. And with the COVID, I had assumed that the ice rink was shut down. But once Lisa contacted me that you guys were looking for information, we made sure that we got you what we had.
All right.
So a couple things. So in looking at the definitions that are stuff here, so there was initial repairs, and as Mike said, that there's a section on page 7 that lists out kind of a laundry list of maybe a dozen or so items that were there. Then there's 2 other wrinkles as they're defined, and I don't remember, even though I was part of the negotiating group inside of there. So there's excess routine capital improvements, and then there's excess non-routine capital improvements. So those are defined on page 2. So Mike's correct in regards to capital excess routine ones are capital improvements excess of $5,000 per occurrence required or deemed reasonably necessary by the rink operator at the premises during the term of this agreement, other than those specifically listed. And then it lists some sections. So in looking at them, you kind of do a little jump around into section 7(2)(a)(1). I feel like I'm looking at state of Connecticut statutes on some of these sections, 1 through 15, and then B, and then 7.3A, and then there's excess non-routine items, and those are bigger items. Those are in excess of $30,000, and we tried to do, which we may have done a good or not so good job, was to put them into buckets, and the thought process was with the larger items was that we want to have some conversation in regards to doing these things so that they were planned, and we could proceed with getting them done, not just have them done and here's a bill and kind of deal with it.
Right.
So so what we ended up doing, Mike, is I did something similar back a number of years ago for these, and I will send over a schedule. And I'm not sure if in the emails that Lisa sent up, I have your email address, but I will. I can send you a schedule that we initially did, which looks similar to your schedule. And I apologize, I've got a lot of the paperwork here across the list here in regards to that revenue sharing calculation.
Okay.
So I have something that's going to look very similar to that, and then we can kind of compare notes to see where we classify things and where you may have and whatnot.
Okay.
If memory serves, and like this is going 5 years ago now, so it doesn't serve as well as it used to. On some of the things we treated them as kind of lumping them in and giving them, applying them to the rent because there was so much that was there. But we can get into when I start seeing the list of the folks, Lisa had come up with, I'm not sure it was a banker's box or some treasures that she had. And we were able to get a ton of the check copies and the invoice copies and a lot of the information that's here on this transaction list. And then we went back and forth in regards to tile and all kinds of other stuff to allocate it as to where it goes into the little matrix that's there. So let me send that out to you tomorrow.
Oh, Tony, that would be great. I'd really appreciate that.
And I'm off Friday, and then maybe we can catch up, make a date and catch up either whether it's Zoom or a conference call between the two of us and just kind of iron those things out to see that we're slotting them correctly, and at least kind of get that part squared up for you. And then the other items for the newer things, I think in rehashing this a little bit, I think we're probably going to come to some conclusion where we think these items fall under the contract, and then we can share that with the authority and kind of get everyone else's thoughts on it and hopefully get some consensus and move it forward.
Yeah, I'm thinking we're probably going to be scheduling another special once we figure out what's going on as far as that goes. So.
Yeah, Tony, thank you. That would be a great help. And actually, as far as Friday, I'm available all Friday morning. My schedule.
I'm off I'm off this Friday.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I have
He has a life.
Not actually.
Unlike some of us.
No, I don't really have much of a life, but I will be in a dentist chair at
8:30,
having some fun items taken care of inside of there. So
there you go.
Can't wait.
Well, Tony, one of my best friends is a dentist, and he's also a client. We joke around as to who inflicts more pain, him or me.
I'll buy that.
Yeah, that could be a toss-up depending on the day. Yeah.
All right. Anything else for public discussion regarding the audits? Joanne, you're the money bags person here. You got anything?
I'm going to table everything. I mean, that's a lot to digest. There's, I know the list that Tony's talking about. There's a lot of pre-hashing years ago. I was part of the initial conversation and switch over. So I'm familiar with everything that's going on, but ultimately just agree that there's going to be another special meeting because that's really great information. Thank you so much. And we'll just have to read through it, understand it. And after they're together, we'll get another meeting.
Once we get a better idea what's going on. Yeah. All right. So with that all said, I'm going to make a motion that we go into executive session, under section 1-210 sub B, sub 5, sub B, to discuss commercial and financial information given in confidence that's not covered under the FOIA statute, and to discuss possible changes in the lease. I'll also add that Deputy Controller Tony Madera and our accountant Bridget Pearson be invited to attend the executive session and participate as needed at the pleasure of the authority.
Mark, should we get an update from Shannon first so that we can excuse her?
Yeah, I guess. No, you know what? It's not. I don't think. I'm going to have to forego that. I think if we're going to do that, we should have done it under comments, just because it's a special meeting and the agenda's kind of set. That's all. So we'll leave that go. But if you need to go, Shannon, you can,
if you prepared anything for tonight, if she wants to forward
that,
you
could just email it.
That would be great, we'll do that on the next one.
Yeah, that would be great.
Because Shannon's always a wealth of information.
Absolutely. So can I get a second on the motion then, please?
Second.
Second by Joanne. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All right, it's unanimous. We're going to go into session it's up to you, the rest, Shannon, whatever. I'm gonna put you guys in a waiting room, and if you want to stick around, fine. If not, then you can go about your wonderful business there. And hang on.
Well, thank you very much. If you guys don't hang out, I appreciate your time.
Great. Thank you, everybody. And if you have any questions, please call.
Thank you very much. All right, they're all in the waiting room. I'm getting better at this Zoom stuff, I'll tell you.
Good for you.
So,
I had a problem with Turbo Bridge the other day with the
Oh.
Golf Course Authority. And
It
we had
works.
2 phones. Somebody inadvertently turned off the second phone, so it stopped recording.
Oh.
So we go through the whole, it wasn't a long period, but it was about 10 minutes of discussion. And
it
I
wasn't
look up and I realized it had recorded about a minute of the conversation. So at which point I said, okay, folks.
Yeah, well, if you notice up in the left-hand corner, upper left-hand corner, it
Yeah, I
says-
saw that.
I could have said
Yeah.
something at the beginning of the meeting, but
So
everything's recording. I'm gonna have to edit this part out, which is not a problem. In fact,
I was going to ask you about
you know
that,
what?
if
I'm
that
gonna
gets
just
stays
turn
in.
this- I'm just gonna turn this off. I'm going to let Lisa back in.
Coming out of executive session.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait till she gets in.
Gotcha.
did she
Okay.
leave or is she still there?
No, she was in the
Okay.
waiting room. So, so I'm gonna make a motion that we come out of executive session, noting that no votes were taken.
Second, Sakuzo.
Second by Mark Sakusa.
Yeah.
All in favor? Aye.
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 No opposed. So we're back on the record and recording. So basically, nothing's really changed. We're going to, we got some information and stuff, but what's going to happen basically is we have to, obviously, they're going to have to review, Lisa, what's going on. And we're going to schedule in the very near future another special meeting of the authority and try to come to some conclusion how we're going to address things. We may, we'll of course invite you. The only issues, there may be some things, we need to ask about or whatever, but obviously Tony knows how to get a hold of you and stuff. So, and they'll be handling it on that end and counsel for us and whatever. So I don't know if there's any, at this point, we just don't have enough to make any decisions. So with that said, we're going to move on to the next part of the meeting, which is just the one thing for new business, which is setting a meeting dates for the next year. That's the January, April, I think I got them all.
Quarterly meetings.
Yeah, the quarterly meetings, January
Yep.
20th, April 21st, 7/21, 10/20, at 6 p.m. at the arena, unless they're posted as virtual, which I imagine January's will more than likely be virtual, but then who knows what happens after that. So I'll be in line for the damn vaccine, I'll tell you that much. So, but anyway, even if Donald Trump comes up with it. So anyway,
As he said, he wanted to personally deliver yours.
yeah, that's it, I bet, yeah.
All right, moving back to the calendar.
This is a recorded meeting, thank you.
Yeah, moving back to the calendar.
I said some stuff yesterday you wouldn't believe. Anyway,
So I like those quarter dates.
yeah, so I'll need a motion to set that as the meeting
I'll make a motion to accept
Yes.
the
by
dates,
Joanne.
times, and places.
Did I get a second?
Second, I digress. I
Second
apologize.
by Mark, thank you. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, okay, and so approved. So what'll happen though, obviously, like I said, those are the regular meeting dates. We are gonna have at least one more special meeting between now and the January meeting, so to deal with some of these issues. So and once we know more information, I'll be in touch with the members. We'll set a date and we'll post the meeting and hopefully y'all can come. So, all right.
Okay,
So with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn
so moved.
by Gary.
Second.
Hold it,
Second.
Lisa.
Lisa has a question.
Go ahead, Lisa. I'm
Do
sorry.
you need anything else from me right now?
I don't know, Tony. That question would probably be better directed to you. You're gonna talk to the accountant, right? You're gonna talk to Mike?
Well, yeah. So I'm going to send some schedules off that we had done. That's kind of looks very similar to what Mike had prepared here. So I'm going to send that off to him tomorrow, and then I'm going to try to schedule something with him next week, and we could kind of go through it and make sure that we're on some of the same page, at least on the older items. And I think as we kind of work through some of the older items, we hopefully will have some understanding as to where the newer items are going to get slotted, or at least are recommended to be slotted. And then probably the week afterwards or so, I will share that information with the authority, and kind of go from there. If something pops up that I need more information, I certainly will reach out to you, Lisa, or Mike. And Lisa, I'll send you what I'm sending Mike tomorrow, just so that you have it in case he has questions to you as well.
Yeah, because that stuff's kind of old.
Yeah. So
Everything's kind of old. I'm getting old. God.
You
I turned
get
60 this year. Of course, some people, of course, Gary's over there saying, I'm 60.
Many years ago.
That's it. Anyway, so we'll do that motion to adjourn again by Joanne, second by Mark. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And so we'll stand adjourned at 7:11 p.m. So thanks, everybody. Thanks for
Thank
coming,
you.
and we'll see you next time. Take care.
good night.
safe.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Stay well, all.
You too.